What will be conveyed here comes from Achmad Subagyo, a former member of the Supreme Advisory Council of the Republic of Indonesia, who has now passed away. He was a nationalist Pancasila fighter who had prepared himself in the times approaching his fade away, at that time already over 80 years old. He was a nationalist Pancasila fighter who had carved his struggle in defending and developing this country based on Pancasila and the 1945 Constitution, and had completed his service as a member of the Supreme Advisory Council of the Republic of Indonesia and the People's Representative Council of the Republic of Indonesia for 3 periods in the past. This message is an expression and a legacy from our elder who has passed away, who was concerned about very fundamental principal issues in building his nation and country, especially when the nation is going through difficult and chaotic times. Let us fully follow the expression and legacy of our elder, so that there is no misunderstanding. An important event that occurred 2 years ago in the United States should serve as a lesson learned for the future generations of Indonesia, because wherever it may be, in the hands of the youth, change begins, namely, change for the improvement of the foundational life of a nation. Likewise, in Indonesia, it is in the hands of the successors and millennials that the baton of running the nation and the country of Indonesia will be passed on toward a just, prosperous, and affluent society, as envisioned in the proclamation of August 17, 1945. Before we get into the actions of the millennial youth in the United States, let's pause for a moment. The message here is really a lesson learned, showing the struggle of the millennial generation in the US who are demanding a shift from today's capitalist value system. They feel quite strongly that this system can no longer act fairly toward the less fortunate, and in fact, just strengthens the positions of the wealthy. The younger generation in the United States is, demanding social justice. The context in Indonesia right now is actually the opposite. Politicians have, in a way, removed the soul of Pancasila with its value of social justice, leaning instead toward capitalism, liberalism on one side. And on the other, there are efforts to make systematic changes by promoting atheism and ideologies that are, honestly, very contrary to Pancasila. It's time, really, for the millennial generation of Indonesia to stay alert and increase their awareness. There continues to be a kind of public corrupted mind, where the deception lies in the repeated insistence of politicians that the 2002 Constitution is just an amended version of the 1945 Constitution. But in reality, while the preamble of the 2003 Constitution still mentions the points of Pancasila, its elaboration in the body is, a philosophical exposition of liberal democracy, not the philosophical exposition of Pancasila democracy anymore. On the basis of this philosophical exposition of liberal democratic ideology, the 2002 Constitution is not an amendment, but, a replacement of the original 1945 Constitution. Therefore, the 2002 Constitution cannot claim itself to still be the 1945 Constitution, nor can it claim to be the amended 1945 Constitution. Thus, calling the 2002 Constitution an amendment of the 1945 Constitution is, honestly, public deception. In my opinion, the Republic of Indonesia after the Reform era, or the current Republic of Indonesia, with the 2002 Constitution that has lost the original Pancasila in its body and replaced it with a philosophical exposition of liberal democracy, has even given birth to a Republic of Indonesia that is no longer as it was proclaimed on August 17, 1945. The current Republic of Indonesia is a new one, with a new constitution, the 2002 Constitution. The denial and removal of the soul or spirit of Pancasila democracy in the 2002 Constitution brings a logical consequence, that all laws and implementing regulations in the governance of the Republic of Indonesia at present no longer refer to the Republic of Indonesia as proclaimed on August 17, 1945, where Pancasila was, the foundation on which the nation was established. Thus, it is undeniable that more and more parties are referring to today's Republic of Indonesia as a new republic with a new constitution, the 2002 Constitution. In principle, with the absence of Pancasila's spirit in the governance of the Republic of Indonesia, it can be said that the Republic of Indonesia, based on the original 1945 Constitution and Pancasila, has been buried once more in this motherland. Therefore, the 2002 Constitution must be corrected, because Pancasila is not the ideology of capitalism or liberalism. The Republic of Indonesia must return to the ideological philosophy of Pancasila and the original 1945 Constitution. It is time for the millennial generation to rise and understand that amending or changing a constitution is a common thing in line with the times and can be done at any time. Even amendments can be done as many times as needed, but firmly, the 1945 Constitution that has been amended must continue to be imbued with Pancasila values in its elaboration in the body. To maintain the originality of the amended 1945 Constitution, the amendment process should be done through an agenda or in the form of an attachment that is affixed to the original 1945 Constitution, forming a single, inseparable unit. Now, let us first review a report beautifully written by The Conversation Raising a Theme of American Youth Today, Rejecting Capitalism. Then, what is the alternative? The Conversation presents a phenomenon that occurred in the United States after the bloody event of June 24, 2018. An excerpt of that report will be presented on this good occasion to become a valuable lesson learned for the Indonesian nation, a nation still endlessly debating its foundational ideology, namely Pancasila. But first, I will refresh our minds by reminding that some very fundamental issues are currently happening in Indonesia. It must be remembered that Pancasila is final, as it existed even before this nation and country were established. Tampering with or rediscussing Pancasila, which can actually be reduced to Trisila and Akasila, is really an act of reopening old wounds, and honestly, it's an initial step that will tear apart the unity of the Indonesian nation. Pancasila, apart from being the foundation of the state upon which the unitary state of the Republic of Indonesia is established, is also, a unifying tool for the Indonesian nation, because all the values it contains are acceptable to this very diverse nation. The unitary state of the Republic of Indonesia is a vast archipelagic country with some truly unique characteristics. Its territory is highly strategic, both geographically, geopolitically, and geoeconomically, as it stretches along the longest equator line in the world. And as a country stretching along the equator, Indonesia enjoys the advantage of abundant natural resources. The Earth's rotation over billions of years has resulted in equatorial regions receiving a bounty of mineral and mining resources. Its territory, which is a zone of mountains, volcanoes, and tectonic plates, geologically endows Indonesia with an abundance of mineral and mining resources. Honestly, anyone would be astonished to see just how vast the mineral and mining wealth owned by Indonesia is. Oil, gold, nickel, silver, bronze, copper, quartz, iron ore, rare earth elements, coal, uranium, natural gas, and, so many others. All are bounties from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, abundantly contained in the land of Indonesia. As a tropical region, Indonesia also has, incredibly fertile soil and is abundant with biological resources of flora and fauna. This richness and beauty have earned it the nickname the Emerald of the Equator. The biodiversity possessed by this republic is, honestly, among the greatest in the world. Its vast tropical rainforests make it unsurprising that Indonesia's forests are considered, the lungs of the world. The blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the form of abundant natural resources really mark the uniqueness possessed by the Indonesian nation. No other country in the world has the uniqueness or distinctiveness like Indonesia, with a territory consisting of thousands of islands. 17,504 islands inhabited by 1,340 ethnic groups, 300 ethnicities, and 115 languages, with a coastline of 108,000 kilometers, the longest coastline in the world.